breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law.
Come midnight tomorrow, there could be up to 40,000 new laws and regulations to break, and boy, are they costing you plenty. Welcome, everyone. I'm Charles Payne in for Neil Cavuto, and this is Your World. From new restrictions on tanning salons to fines for flicking cigarette butts on the ground, even pets deemed lemons. A ton of new laws are set to kick in at the start of the new year, and no matter where you are, you're going to feel it. Trace Gallagher in Los Angeles on states laying down a law for the new year. Trace.
And I got to tell you, Charles, there were a couple of states in particular that were very busy. The lawmakers there were on overdrive all year. For example, Oregon is now the 13th state in the nation to legalize medicinal marijuana. So you can smoke pot in Oregon, but if you smoke cigarettes in a car where there's a child as a passenger, that is now against the law. And get this, in Oregon now, if you're on the cell phone, the cell phone fines have now doubled to $500 while driving. But there is some good news in Oregon because now new moms can bring home their placenta from the hospital. Experts say it's very nutritious if you ingest it. In Illinois, if someone sells you a lemon pet that's an unhealthy animal, you can actually bring it back to the owner or the seller. You can maybe even have the seller foot the veterinarian's bills. Illinois also says that if your pet's leash is not long enough, you could spend 6 months in jail. And lawmakers in Illinois clearly have been watching way too much Breaking Bad because now mobile home owners in Illinois now have to notify any potential buyer if the place might have been used to cook methamphetamine. And here in California, students can now sign up for whatever sport is consistent with their gender identity. That's regardless of what sex they were born. They can also use whatever bathroom consists with their specific gender identity. And by the way, LA is now the largest city in the country, Charles, that has outlawed plastic bags. No more paper or plastic. LA, it's strictly paper. Off you go. Charles.
Trace Gallagher, thanks a lot. So, do we really need all of these new laws? Well, a recent poll finding 72% of Americans considered big government the biggest threat. Former Reagan economic advisor Art Laffer says they're absolutely right. Art, right out the gate, I don't disagree with you, but I mean, Trace is running down a whole bunch of absurd things. I kind of like the one with the pets, though, because we bought 2 dogs off the internet, and they were obviously inbred. And if nothing else, I would like to see that kind of practice stop. But I guess that's the problem. We all got some of these things that we like.
Yeah, we love them, but the question is the consequences of how you do it. And I'm not sure you're wrong on the lemon law for pets. You might be right on that one. But when you look at all of this stuff put together, these people are spending other people's money. These people are regulating things without the consequences being considered. And obviously, it leads to this silly type of stuff that Trace Gallagher was talking about. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
And there are also some serious economic consequences to all of this. I mean, this is a police state run amok, but each aspect of our lives seems to be micromanaged by government.
It's true, and how do they control it? How do they investigate it? How do they go about finding who are the perpetrators of evil deeds? I mean, how do you know what single wide had methamphetamine being produced in it?
First of all, I'm telling you, I'm going to assume every single wide was used at one point as a meth lab. Double wide, I'll give the benefit of the doubt.
All right. Well, a single wide that's just coming off the production shelf may not have been used in the production process. But hey, you're right. In Kentucky, I think it's just about every single wide.
So I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but
me too.
Yeah, but Art, here we are, 40,000 new laws on the books. We all know, and you're an economics expert. The more laws and regulations that we layer,
sure,
the more bureaucracy, and the harder it is to really get the economy going. Isn't that one of the things that's been holding us back?
It sure has. I mean, I've just finished, a group of us have just finished the Ultimate State Book, where we look at all the 11 states that have introduced the income tax over the last 50 plus years. We look at the highest tax rate states, the lowest tax rate states. We look at right to work. All of those pertain to economic metrics of economic growth, population growth, GSP growth, and also the provision of public services. And the story is clear. every single time, those states that have the lowest tax rates, those states that don't introduce an income tax, those states that are right to work, they all perform a lot better in every single measure.
And yet, Art, how do you explain that voters are, for the most part, responsible for these 40,000 laws? Why do we hate big government but keep making government bigger?
I don't know, but I think what the problem is because basically, Charles, these people are not held responsible for their own actions. Politicians aren't. My view is you should put these guys on commission. If the state does badly, they don't get paid. If the state does real well, they get paid handsomely. I don't mind politicians making lots and lots of money as long as all the rest of us do too.
I hear you.
But these guys should be paid on incentive pay just like all the rest of us. Charles?
I would argue we all should be paid on commission one way or the other. Art Laffer,
exactly.
Hey, have a great New Year, buddy. Appreciate it.
Charles, thank you very much. It's really fun being with you as always.
As always. Hey, the new